Okay guys, gals, viewers, friends, we're going to get back on the V blocks, the Vee Jaws for drilling all the bulldozer pins, because they are going to be here momentarily, so I need to get this done. And we cut this first V, as you remember, if you saw the first video, we cut the this on the shaper. I had a lot of questions. I planned on just turning it around and cutting the other V on the shaper too, but I had a lot of people come online, a lot of questions. How else could you have done that? You know, I would have tilted my head on my milling machine. I would have knotted the head on my milling machine. I would have used a sine bar. I would have used an angle block. There's, you know, that's the great thing about this type of work. There's 1,000 ways to do everything, and so a lot of people asked, you know, how could you have done this in other ways? So, okay, well, that's fine. How would we have done this otherwise? Let me bring the camera over a little closer here, and I'll show you how we're getting ready to do these. We're going to do different techniques. We're going to demonstrate different techniques. So let's bring the camera over. All right, this is how we're going to do it. Give you a little Alright, so we are going to use a couple of single angle cutters in the horizontal mill to make this cut. This is two 6-inch 45 degree 3/4 inch wide single angle cutters, and we're going to set them up in a gang arrangement, multiple cutters on the arbor. And they are handed. There's a left hand and a right hand, and this is the left, this is the right, and we are going to set these up on a horizontal arbor in the big Kearney trucker. Then we're just going to put these two blocks in the vise like this and slice them right down the middle. And these are new old stock, never been used. I've never used them. I've had them, but I've never used them. They are razor sharp. You could slice yourself wide open. So this will give you a profile here of what one of these looks like. Right? And then the way they work together, again, without slicing myself wide open. There you go. So that gives us our 45 degree, I mean our 90 degree dual 45 cut. These are things of beauty. I would hate to have to buy these new. I'm sure they would be very pricey. So let's get over to the milling machine and let's get this stuff set up. Alright, I got an arbor mounted in the mill here, and I got some spacers taken off. I'm going to get the cutters. Pay attention to which way you're cutting. And key in here. make sure the key engages the spacer that's coming up, that's next to the cutter. You want to make sure that the key engages the spacer, the cutter, the second cutter, and the last key. There we go. And then have to get on the key. I try to use all 1¼ inch so that I don't end up having to have a bunch of different sizes around. Whoop. All right, there we go. Let's get the workpiece mounted in the vise. All right, we're set up here. We got our 2 cutters in. We just use the scale to figure out where the center is. Our workpieces are tight in the vise. I got a copious quantities of WD-40 for lubrication. And we're going to fire the machine up. Okay, we're going to take this first pass at about 139 RPM. With a 6-inch cutter, that's a little over 200 surface feet per minute. And we're just going to take a scratch cut, make sure we're in the middle. You got to be really careful with these points. They're very fragile, so be very careful. Alright, that's one pass. Show you the camera in here where you can get a little better shot. Alright, so that was an 1/8 of an inch cut. Something to consider here is our length, our actual width of our cutting edge. Our width of our cutting edge is not 1.5 inches, which is the 2 3/4 inch cutters side by side. The width of our cutting edge is the length here, which is about 1.16 inches per edge. So our actual width at total depth of cut is about 2 1/8 inches. So this isn't an insignificant amount of material removal. So you've got to take that in mind when you are figuring out how much cuts you're going to take. And also with these single angle cutters, the difference in your service speed at the tip and the difference in the service speed here is significant, right? So this is 1 inch less diameter. So as far as it's a compromise situation. Like right now, that last cut, we're running 139 RPM, which, like I said, is a little over 200 service feet per minute, and ended up feeding that at 5.3 inches a minute. And we've got a beautiful surface finish and a really nice cut. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to raise the table up another 1/8 of an inch, but we're actually going to increase our cut, the actual size of our cut, substantially, a lot more than 1/8 of an inch. That's another 1/8 of an inch. So let's fire in the hole here. Start getting a sound like that, stop and make sure that your teeth are not clogging up with aluminum. parts out and get them back over to the bench and check them out. Okay guys, we have got off the mill. I packed up these, managed to get these razor sharp cutters disassembled here without causing myself any blood loss, which is almost amazing. And I'm going to pack them away. If you got tooling like this, protect it, because you're not buying any more, right? Niagara's no longer in this business. They sold out their traditional milling cutter business to Keo, and I don't think Keo is going forward with the full line of traditional milling cutters. So, and anyway, if you wanted to buy a brand new, a 6 by 3/4 by 1 1/4 45-degree single angle cutter, I mean, that's like 3.5 pounds of high-speed steel, right? It's going to be expensive. So if you got tooling like this, or if you want some and you find a good deal on it, grab it while you got the chance. So here's the jaws with the cut that we made on the shaper here, and then this is the cut that we just made. Got a nice intersection here at the bottom that we just made with the horizontal mill. Yeah, the horizontal mill was certainly less work and easier. You know, you don't have shapers to make money sitting around. I mean, you know, you do, but you don't. And then I decided, since I had the mill all set up, I slapped one of the jaws in vertically, and I cut a V groove across the top here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of hold down bolt holes, maybe 3 hold down bolt holes over here on the top of this jaw, so that I could use a strap clamp to hold small round stock that I need to do some milling on on the top of this. So, you know, while I had it there, I just go ahead and set it up and do it. I did not film that. So anyway, the next step on this is to drill and tap the 3/8 by 16 holes in the ends, in the faces for the stops, and now in the top for the hold downs. So that's going to be our next video, and then we're also going to make the stop that goes on this end. So anyway, thanks for joining me in the shop. As always, be safe, don't wear loose clothing, and I'll be back with you soon.